another sadhu. Even in 2015, when I had pulled my left shoulder, at first I didn't make much of it, thinking that it would go away over time, as something like this happened to me a few times before while I was in seva. But as time passed, the pain got worse, and then my left arm started going numb. So I thought, well, this is the problem. And so I called Bamukund, who was Bapa's physiotherapist, to see if he could do anything to help. So Bamukund, he told me over the phone that it seems like it's a nerve that's being irritated, and that the only solution he could think of was a specific machine that was at Ahmedabad Hospital. So that meant that I would need to go to Ahmedabad for treatment, because there was no way that that machine was going to come to Saharanpur for me. So the issue with that, though, was that Yogi Charan Swami was also sick at the time. So he wasn't coming into the room much. And Bapa was also sick. So with Bapa being sick and Yogi Charan Swami not coming in the room, there was a shortage of sevaks. There was no chance of me being able to leave to go to Ahmedabad, at least not anytime soon. So that afternoon, after Bapa went to sleep, I was explaining the situation to Dr. Vismay, who was one of the full-time doctors on staff then, just to see if there was anything that he could help out with, at least in the meantime, to relieve the pain and this numbness that was happening. So that afternoon, it was my turn and Vismay Bhai's turn to be in the room. The way we had it kind of set up, it was on a rotation basis, where it would be one sevak and one doctor that would stay up either in the afternoon or at night. So that afternoon, it was mine and Vismay Bhai's turn. So the two of us, we were in the room, we were just kind of quietly discussing this in the corner. And Bapa had just fallen asleep, so he wasn't completely asleep yet. But all of a sudden, he kind of pushed himself up and he started looking towards our direction. And so we saw that Bapa was looking towards us, so right away, Vismay Bhai and I, we kind of ran towards Bapa to see if there was anything that he wanted. But Bapa was just kind of wondering what we were talking about, or what we were discussing. So I told Bapa about my shoulder and how my arm was going numb, and that the only option was to go to Ahmedabad for treatment, but that would have to wait until Yogi Charan Swami got better. Now, while I was talking to Bapa, I was leaning on his bed with my left hand. And when Bapa was asleep on his right, he would keep his right hand out. And so while I was talking to him about my arm, all of a sudden I felt his hand massaging my shoulder. And then he started telling me, "Ke savare tare tara dhotiya dhwana nahi. Ke koine kare tare kai devanu ke kari ape." And then Bapa goes, "Ke evu hoy to kothari ne kai deje ke tane sevak ape." So then Bapa started telling me about keeping a sevak. I started laughing. And then I told Bapa, "Ke Bapa, don't worry, go to sleep." But Bapa was serious and he kept going on and on about how I should take care of myself. Now, after a certain point, Bapa's speech started becoming unclear. So I couldn't exactly understand what Bapa was trying to tell me. But I got the gist of it and I got the point, and I didn't want to ask Bapa to keep repeating himself because I wanted Bapa to go to sleep. So I just kept saying, ha Bapa, without actually understanding what Bapa was saying. And after a certain point, Bapa kind of caught on that I was just saying ha Bapa, but that I wasn't understanding him. Because suddenly Bapa stopped, and then in a clear voice, he asked me, "Kusu bolyo?" So he caught me off guard, so then I started stuttering to get an answer out, and then he just started cracking up. So I told Bapa, "Bapa, chinta nahi karta, hu dhyan rakis, aap aaram karo." And then he said, "Vando nahi," and then Bapa went to sleep. But then later that evening, when Bapa woke up, he started complaining of knee pain. Now, we were all confused that how could he hurt his knee while in bed? But Bapa barely ever complained of his difficulties, so whenever he did, it was taken seriously. So we called Bamukund right away and we told him that he needs to get to Saharanpur as soon as he can and bring whatever equipment he could think of with him. So Bamukund, he took the next flight out, came to Saharanpur. The next day with a whole bunch of equipment, thinking whatever works. He came there and then he started treating Bapa's knee, and within 20 minutes or so, Bapa stops him and he tells him that he's fine now. And then pointing at me, he goes, "Avanu joile." So Bamukund at that point, he turns around and he starts laughing, saying that, "Swami, the machine that I was talking about, I actually brought with me." This was Bapa's hit, always thinking of others. And his hit was such that, as Maharaj mentions in Pratham 44, ke jena pratye prem hoy, tene vishe potani vritti akhan raya kare. From morning to night, Bapanu man કાં તો ભગવાનમાં કે પછી સંતો ભક્તોમાં રહેતું. Whenever we would go in the morning to wake up Bapa, we would ask him કે બાપા આટલા વાગ્યા છે તો જાગવું છે? તો many times Bapa would respond back by asking કે હરિભક્તો આવ્યા છે? હરિભક્તો આવ્યા છે કે નહીં એના આધારે બાપા સવારે જાગતા. And then when Bapa would come out for darshan, many times he would worry whether the Haribhaktas have eaten or not. Nishkoran Swami says કે જોને ગર્ભવાસની ત્રાસ ટાળી ટળે કે એમાં કોઈ નહીં રહે, તે પણ ટાળીને અવિનાશ રાખે ખબર અન્ન તોય નહીં રહે. Those of you that came to Sanampur in those last few years for darshan probably remember that many times after darshan there was some sort of prasad that was given to everyone at Pramukh Mandiram, whether it was garam garam bhajia or jalebi, shiro, cake, keri. Now the reason for that was because Bapa would worry કે હરિભક્તો જમીને જાય છે, શું જમે છે. Once while Bapa was giving darshan, he called Gnaneshwar Swami and he asked Gnaneshwar Swami કે આ બધા હરિભક્તો જમીને બેઠા છે? અને Gnaneshwar Swami said કે હા બાપા, બધાને આપણે રોજ જમાડીએ છીએ અને કાંઈ તો દર્શન પહેલાં કે દર્શન પછી પણ બધાને આપણે જમાડીને જ આપણે ઘરે મોકલતા હોઈએ છીએ. પણ બાપા એમને આમ સંતોષ ન થયું એવું લાગ્યું એટલે he told Gnaneshwar Swami કે તમે જાહેરાત કરો કે જેને જમવાનું બાકી હોય એ જમીને જ જાય પણ જમ્યા વગર ઘરે જાય નહીં. એટલે એમના સંતોષ માટે એમની હાજરીમાં આવી રીતે આપણે થાર પ્રસાદીનો કરાવીને બધાને એમની સામે જ જમાડતા. So during the day, Bapa would worry about Haribhaktas. Even in the middle of the night, Bapa would wake up sometimes and ask about santos or Haribhaktas. In August of 2013, Bapa woke up one night around 2:30 at night. And as I mentioned earlier, doctors and sevaks, we had rotations of who would stay awake at night. So that night, it was Dr. Mehulbhai Solonki's turn. And once Bapa woke up, Dr. Mehulbhai, he was seated in front of Bapa's bed. So as soon as Bapa saw him, he started asking the sevak sant કે આમનો ઉતારો ક્યાં રાખ્યો છે? એમને ફાવે છે? જમવાનું મળે છે? એમને બધું અનુકૂળ છે? કાંઈ જોઈતું હોય તો એમને પૂછતા રહેજો. He just woke up and the first thing he's thinking about is a Haribhakt's Vyavastha. He would even worry about what Haribhakt's Vyavastha would be like after he returned to Dham. આટલું બધું કોણ વિચારે? But one day, he called Muni Swami into the room and he told him કે હું જ્યારે ધામમાં જઈશ પછી ઘણા ભક્તો દર્શન કરવા આવશે, તો એમની વ્યવસ્થા વિચારી રાખજો. એમના ઉતારાનું કેવી રીતે કરશો, કેમ જમાડશો, દર્શનનું શું આયોજન કરશો, આ બધું વિચારી રાખજો જેથી સંતો ભક્તોને ભીડો ન પડે. To this extent, he had kept us in mind. This was his Jaju hit. No conditions, no expectations, always putting us before himself and sacrificing his all for us. Just think about his last trip to America in 2014. If you look at the preceding months to Bapa's decision to fly to America, there was no scope for that trip at all. He was going through one of his worst sicknesses as of yet. He was on the last stage of antibiotics. Everyone thought that he was going to go to Dham. This is in 2013, a few months right before Bapa made that decision to go to America. Now, Bapa pulled out of that sickness, and as soon as he did, he said that he wanted to go to America. Now, at that time, he was told about all the risks, the issues, the pain that he may have to suffer. But Bapa had made up his mind. There were a lot of obstacles even leading up to that flight, but Bapa was firm that he wanted to go. And halfway through that flight, when we stopped in Belgium for refueling, Bapa kept getting antsy to leave. So he would ask every 5-10 minutes if we were going to take off or not. And in that, at one point, Bapa said કે મારા હરિભક્તો રાહ જુએ છે. Now, up until that point, we were all in the assumption that his agrah to go to America was just for Robbinsville Akshardham. But that wasn't the only reason. And then when Bapa landed here, as tired as he was on the way from the airport to the mandir, he was sleeping the whole entire time. But as soon as Bapa's car turned into Robbinsville Mandir campus, Bapa woke up. And up until now, we were going back and forth whether Bapa should give darshan or not, because Bapa was so tired and it was late at night. It was around 1 o'clock at night. But as soon as Bapa woke up, Yogi Charan Swami, he asked Bapa કે બાપા આવી રીતે હવે આપણે મંદિરે પહોંચી ગયા છીએ અને આપને ખાસો એવો થાક જણાય છે, તો અમારો વિચાર હતો કે આપણે અત્યારે દર્શન ન રાખીએ. બધા હરિભક્તો ભેગા થયા છે, પણ આમે આપણે બધાને કહી રાખ્યું છે કે કેટલાક દિવસથી આપ દર્શન આપવાના નથી, તો આપણે સીધા રૂમમાં જતા રહીએ. By that time, Bapa said, "Na apne badane darshan apiye bada bega thaya hoy to." And that night at 1 o'clock at night, after such a long trip, Bapa gave everyone darshan. And then one day, during his stay in Robbinsville, Dr. Subramaniam, he came to meet Bapa. Now, he was the one that had done Bapa's bypass surgery in 98. So he knew potentially what the condition of Swamishi's heart was after 15 years and what sort of discomfort he would be in. And as soon as he saw Bapa, he just kept nodding his head. He was speechless. Yogi Jana Swami asked him, "What's wrong?" But Dr. Subramaniam, he just kept nodding his head. And then he said that what a risk he has taken coming all the way here. What pain must he have been in on that flight over here? And then Dr. Subramaniam said that he must truly love his devotees. It was then that everyone standing there realized that how painful that flight must have been for Bapa, with his heart condition and cabin pressure, but Bapa never mentioned a word. In loving us, potani mate kasu jemne rakhyu nathi. But like this, Pramukh Sai Maharaj, Man Sai Maharaj, they've sacrificed their whole life for us. And they make it look so easy that we take their hit for granted. No matter our class, caste, color, gender, tyagi, gruhi, the Satpurush loves us all equally and far more than we will ever love him. આ બધી વાત કરીએ તો ખાલી લૌકિક દ્રષ્ટિએ જ વાત કરી, with whatever limited definitions we have of hit. But if you think about his Kalyan Bhavna, his Divya Drashti towards us despite our flaws, his love for us is so vast. We may not be able to match it, but we can pray that our love and Juran in him grows day by day. Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwan Ni Jai.